Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about web client and HTTP interface. Now we're going to be using this to communicate between our microservices. Take a look at the diagram now. If you notice that I switched this up a bit as compared to our previous one, we had the service discovery here, and now we have it here. So it's not too much of a difference, but what I'm just depicting here is to say that the microservices get registered with the service registry, and the API gateway just has to look up the service discovery and find out the location of the account service or the payment service, depending on which is being requested at that time. Now, remember that when we do things like deposit, first thing that happens is it records the payment, and after recording the payment, it goes ahead to update the account. Now, if you look at this, we've splitted this into a microservice, so these functionalities are now in different services. So in order for us to communicate between these microservices, that's where web client comes in handy. Now we can use that to make a request from the payment service to the account service, saying, okay, I've received the payment here, I just need you to update the account balance for us. So I'm going to explain why web client. Now, in order to explain web client, now I'll quickly come here to explain something to us. Now imagine that you have a bar, and then there is this barman who receives order, it brings back the order, it clears the table, it brings the bill. The barman is, just going around between the customers, and the customers that are seated and going through to the kitchen to say, okay, there is this order, and the barman comes here and say, what do you want? Hello, I want XYZ. Now the barman takes that request, comes to the kitchen staff says, okay, we're going to prepare that request. Now imagine that the barman has to wait here in the kitchen, say, okay, once you are done, I'll take that, whatever the customer has requested, I'll take it back to the customer. Now that's going to take some time, right? Now imagine that it's not going to be too much if you have, let's say, 2 customers in the bar. But if you have 10 customers in the bar, or even 10 is much, if you have anything more than 2 or 3, 4, 5, it's going to be a problem, because at the end of the day, the kitchen staff takes time to prepare that order, and then the barman has to take it to the customer that is seated. Well, in the case of requests, in our microservices and all of that, now it is quite fast. You might not notice the difference that much, but it is a bit of there's a time lag, right? Because you have to wait in the kitchen to get that order that you need. So it's the same thing. The customer seated now can be likened to the payment service, and then the kitchen can be the account service. Now the payment service is saying, hey, I need you to update the account. The web client, which is the barman, says, okay, I'm going to do that for you. It does that. If there is any delay here, the barman is going to wait, or like the web client is going to wait. So now that's what we call blocking, because the web client now cannot receive another request from the payment service. It has to wait for that request to complete before it comes back to the payment service. But assuming we were using a non-blocking HTTP client, now all we need to do is take that request. The barman, or the web client in this case, takes that request, now goes to the account service, drops that request, tells the account service, no, I'm going to come back to get this request whenever you are done. So it goes again, the barman goes to the customer seated, goes for the next person, okay, hello sir, welcome, what do you want? And goes to the kitchen, delivers that order. If when he gets to the kitchen, he sees that order is, the first order is complete or is ready, it takes that order, it goes to the customer and delivers that, right? So that is the simple explanation about blocking and non-blocking. So web client is non-blocking. You have REST client. REST client is blocking. So quickly, if you head on to this documentation, so you see Spring Web Flux include a web client to perform HTTP request. You can read up more of the documentation later on. Then now this, if you come down here, you see HTTP interface client. Now it's just here, I've opened it here. No, just here, open it here. Now we have HTTP interface client. Now this lets you define HTTP service as a Java interface, and with the HTTP exchange method, which we are going to see briefly in the next tutorial. So if you quickly come here and you see this, So this is just showing us how to go about that. So this is how you define the interface, and then this is the HTTP exchange method. And if you want to use REST client, this is how you configure your REST client. If you want to use a web client, this is how you configure your web client. This is how you do it. So we're going to be using web client, and as I said again, web client is non-blocking, so we're going to be making use of that for our request between the microservices.
Alright, so in summary, blocking is synchronous and non-blocking is asynchronous.
So stay tuned, and in the next tutorial, we're going to continue to develop our microservice and do that communication. For now, that's all. Bye, see you in the next tutorial.